Hello again, Struck Co-op. Welcome back to another evening of streaming with me, Struck. Today will be more Bane Dusk Mage Farming in Torchlight 3, and some of you are celebrating, what was its name, Valentine's Day. Some of you, if you're from a country like mine, are celebrating the Day of Wine. We have a day of the wine and wine, whatever I can't literally translate it, but it's Trifon's Day. Maybe that's how it could translate. And Trifon is a name in the country. But yeah, it's an interesting day, so cheers from me. Regardless what you're celebrating. I've got some homemade red wine from my uncle here. Just one glass. Let's not overdo it. So yeah, let's go in and do some leveling. And I need to pour myself some water. I just realized my water was empty, so let's just pour some here. Okay. So yeah, farming the Bane Dusk Mage. Did I say earlier leveling? I'm sure I didn't, but just in case if I did, sorry. It's farming, not leveling today. So it's 8:24 p.m. We've got around 4 hours. 4 hours, roughly a little bit less than 4 hours, let's say. Let's say 3 hours and 45 minutes, 3 hours and something, which would be enough to farm, maybe get finally a, what should I call it, a frost wall shield and a north mace or glacier's edge. Either of those would be fine for me. I'm not gonna do those. Or maybe I can do Meadow-West with Netherwell. Meadow-West with Netherwell doesn't seem so bad as a choice. Just a moment, I need to plug my headset. And now we're ready. And I played some more Magic Legends today. Last night I started leveling up my Necro class. And today I even tested switching up to a black, to a few black spells in the deck alongside the white instead of blue. And it wasn't so bad. And if those spells were leveled up, it could have been a very strong setup with self-heals, with life drains. I'm super excited with some of the things in Magic Legends, and equally the opposite of excited about some other things which I can't talk about. But yeah, in Magic Legends I've been having a blast regardless of the bad things in the game. So this is a light spear. I mean, making light spear a centerpiece of a build doesn't seem really reasonable. And it gives HP, and I've already got this one. So yeah, this one I'm gonna dismantle. And I'm gonna start selling items. I'm gonna dismantle blue, sell green. That's what I'm gonna do today, because I need to start stockpiling gold so I can reroll enchantments on legendary items that drop. Oh wait, I'm missing one of my overlays. There we go. I was missing my notifications, my events notifications. Actually, I'm still missing those. That shouldn't be like this.
You can't cast that here.
Let's see what the problem was. Fixed it. So this is a unique map with Netherwell. Alright, let's try and spawn as many unique enemies as we can. I keep trying to reload. The muscle memory just this muscle memory doesn't want to disappear. The one where I keep pressing my thumb button, expecting to reload when my blink charges are empty and I want to recharge them. Must have played too much sharpshooter to... Oh, another green, nice. That was unexpected to have 3 of them in such a tight space. Now I need a token of rapid bartering. Oh, another one. Okay. If only those was 2 spawned with the previous 2, so I could just stay with them together. You're seeing the DPS I'm doing is actually pretty solid. Pretty solid DPS. I mean, obviously I'm at stage 28 of the Fazir, which is barely anything. But I'm also using 6600 weapon damage items, so that needs to be kind of considered, and I think this is clearing reasonably quickly, and on the higher difficulties with better offense, with better attack damage, with better damage, it would be pretty strong. See, this one can become better. This one, when I socket it and wife bind it, will be around 7,500 damage. Wait, what's its damage now? Yeah, 7,000 and a bit is to be expected. Let's see here.
Your pack is full.
Okay. That is decent defense. I'm gonna consider saving it. I wish it had damage to Absolver or damage to something. Anything. And I'm thinking of just sending the pet to sell now. I'm gonna spend a while in this map. There's just so many green enemies. I don't want to miss out on either of those. Oh, I've been here. Never mind. We got one to spawn. Let's try and do... Ah, shit, no. I got stuck. 3. Can I get a 4th one? I mean, that's super dangerous. If all 3 of those hit me... Oh, it's 4 of them, but 3 of them are ranged shamans. I wanna just group them up together and start doing this. Oh, there's a plate bearer. I'm really careful with those bows. Let's see.
Your pack is full.
Oh, 14 seconds for the pet. Okay. You can kill some goblins in the meantime.
You are overburdened. Your pet is back.
And the pet is back. Another green. Just checking if I can pull this green into another one. Maybe from here. Maybe from here. No, there aren't any more greens. Where did that green go? Oh, there we go, it's here. Drat neckband. Is it a good one? It has a socket, but no cooldown, so it's not really great. Energy Spike Spirit, well, might save this. You never know where I'm gonna try and do a build for those. I mean, Energy Spike right now is actually good for me. But Absorber is better, obviously. It's my main DPS skill of this build. I always try to stack damage to the skill I can spam. If I'm spamming this or this, I would get damage for that. If I'm spamming this or this, I would get damage for that. If entropy is on a cooldown, I would get damage for another skill on the build that's not on a cooldown. As the priority is the one that that trumped the other if I had to pick one or the other. In regards to extra bonus damage. Obviously getting both of your damage skills as bonus damage affix would be the ideal choice. Derp is back and is saying which build has the fastest buttons, the fewest buttons to press. I'm trying to make one where I just have one ability on right click and the rest are passives. My current is Flaming Destroyer Forged. Well, you can make, I mean, you can make build with just one button to press, but it's not gonna be as great. See, if you have one button to press, you're not gonna be buffing yourself, losing a lot of potential damage. You're not gonna be regenerating your energy, again losing potential damage. And you're not gonna be using maybe relic skills, unless you make one button build with relic skills, but then you won't be able to use it all the time and you would have to have a backup plan, a backup skill. So, I mean, there are ways to make something with 4 or 5 buttons. 4 or 5 buttons. If you want Forged Flaming Destroyer, let me finish this map and then I can open up my browser and give you a Sword Smash build, for example. Egg of Mayhem Sword Smash build. That probably would be a very easy one to do. But the thing is, with Forged, you need to press more buttons now. Because Forged now has a vent skill, a heat builder, so you can vent, and a heat spender. So you can make a build without a heat spender, and you can always be at full, a steam spender, I mean, steam spender. So you have a heat builder, heat spender that vents and builds steam, and a steam spender. And you can make a build without a steam spender, maybe, if you focus on the relic side of things. And in this case, you would need at least 4 or 5 skills in the setup to rotate. Some of them would be just when you need defenses. That's gonna be fine. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna try and show you what I'm talking about. Just a moment. This map had a lot of drops. Definitely worth doing. So I'm gonna open my browser and show you a version of making an Egg of Mayhem Sword Smash build. This would be kind of what you might wanna experiment with. Do you like ranged or melee better? I think ranged won't be a bad thing to consider. You cleared the 251st floor with a button of 1, 2, 3. Obviously that's doable. It's not like it won't be doable, especially with the Forged. It can get a lot of defense and offense now after they reworked it. As long as you have good gear though, everything's fine. Good gear is much more important sometimes than properly synergized build. So let me open my browser now. If you want something for Forge Flaming Destroyer, where did it go? There it is. Firefox. And now let's select Flaming Destroyer and Forged. Actually, it is already on Flaming Destroyer Forged. You prefer melee. You like stacking defense anyway, especially fire defense, just because burn is the... Well, I would say it's not burn, it's some of the poison fields. I would say poison spiders and poison robot spiders alongside fire spiders and fire robot spiders and electric spiders and electric robot spiders. Those things that they put on the ground, those hazards, they're overpowered. And they can melt you through your defenses like they don't exist. So you would obviously want this. 4 points, at least 4 points. I would say get it 10 points though, just so it's better cooldown. And you would want this as 4 points for the relic skills. Now you have to decide, do you want rapid strike or cyclone mode as your main skill? Some people don't like cyclone mode and go for rapid strike. I personally would do it like this. And then I would put at least 1 point here. And then I would max this one out. I would max this one out. And then I would max this one out. And put, maybe let's wait for this. Put points here, put points here. Actually, you said melee, so never mind. You don't need to use fracking strike, but take it for at least for the 4th skill cooldown. And if you want one button, you can just focus on sword smash. Sword smash would be your main damage source, and then get this and get this to level 3. 1 more point. I need to get 1 point from somewhere. Either this way or this way. And so basically the way you play it is you use cyclone mode to build heat and you use this to vent. And then you can just keep your keep your steam up without spending it. If you want less buttons, don't worry about spending steam. You're gonna lose a lot of DPS, which means you probably don't need this as much. Actually, which means you can take points here. So let's say you only use Sonic Pulse for the debuff, and you only use this to heal, but this in for the defense, and it's optional. So your main source of damage would be using this to generate energy, so you can use this. And this one you don't need to use it, just take it for the passive bonus. So you want something with the least amount of buttons to press. I would say Cyclone, and maybe whatever you want to do it like. And the movement skill. This one. That's 4 buttons. That's the bare minimum of skills you would use. Super bare minimum. If you don't want to use Sword Smash, then maybe using Cloak of Flames. But in this one I would obviously add Imbue Relic. Imbue Relic is a skill that recharges your relic energy fully from the Ancient Ember boots. So my suggestion is, if you can get Imbue Relic, get it in the build. At least just the basic version, so you can keep spamming Sword Smash. If you don't like spamming Sword Smash, then maybe spam Blazing Pillar. Or just keep Cloak of Flames up and just play with Cloak of Flames and the Spin to Win. But keep in mind, the Spin to Win doesn't do as much damage. And without either Fracking Strike or the Uppercut, or the way I would do it is Pressure Shot. I would actually use Pressure Shot if I were to make a build for myself for that extra DPS, because Pressure Shot has the best damage per second, not damage per hit, damage per second for steam spent. Maybe let's say damage per second for a full steam tank. For a full steam tank, maybe that's the best way to put it. So that's one build I would do. So you're using this to vent, so you can get that extra double armor. If you want, you can get this for extra double, for extra 50% bonus defense. This one is just as a passive. This one is as a passive and as mobility, an extra relic skill damage, and this and this and this are just for passive stuff. You're asking, is that a skill you can hunt with just one skill? What do you mean a skill you can hunt with just one skill? That's kind of a build you can use with the least possible things in the skill bar. I mean, the way I would play this, I would have this here and I would have Imbue Relic. And every now and then I would press Summoning Smash optionally. But you would really need, ideally for this build you would have the Frost Wall equipped. And if you can get the weapon for extra cooldown reduction, get it. If you can't, so be it. Just keep the Frost Wall and then get Imbue Relic. So you can get at least 45-second cooldown instead of 60 for Imbue Relic, and that means you can just spam Sword Smash as much as you can, and you want Egg of Mayhem. Egg of Mayhem here, and that's what you want, and you want Liu General. Liu General, I can't show you here, but the Liu General, every time you activate Imbue Relic, you get for 8 seconds extra 25% damage reduction and 25% damage. If you want to just go full Cyclone mode, you can just remove the Sword Smash points and go Cloak of Flames. And that's also fine. That's also fine. 10 points Cloak of Flames. Then your main focus would be Cyclone mode and you would be stacking damage to Cyclone mode. And that's not a bad way to do it. Get extra 3-4 levels to Cyclone mode, get pieces with extra damage to Cyclone mode. You already have that Legendarium. That's good. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Now let me go back to the game. But enjoy it. I mean, this is what I would do if someone tells me the least amount of skills to press. Focusing more on procs rather than on active skills. I mean, obviously the power projection is optional. Another very good build I want to do is the Vortex Bomber build. The Vortex Bomber build, while we're at it, let's talk about it. Mountain King Hatch and Wheel. So with Mountain King Hatch, you can auto-cast Sonic Pulse without needing to put it in the skill bar. And that makes the enemies... auto-stunned. And on this build you want it. On this build, every time you cast Sword Smash, you would have 100% chance to auto-cast Sonic Pulse. Then for a Vortex Bomber build, I would do something different because I would want extra points. So I would do it... actually, I would do it like this. And I would remove those 5 points from here. I would get chance to burn in my shield and I would get extra event skills damage. So this 25% and the main focus would be Vortex Bomb. So Cyclone mode would not be that much for the damage dealt. And basically what you're doing is you're building heat, you're venting. And every time you vent with the Mountain King Wheel, you're getting 50 heat back. And with the Mountain King Gauntlets you get crit chance. If you vent over 50 heat. So you need to, over 75. So you need to vent 75 every time, meaning you need to build 25 heat every time. And you're gonna be stacking levels to Vortex Bomb. If you get extra levels to Vortex Bomb in a helmet, and maybe if you're working in a weapon, you can get this cooldown down to like 1 point something seconds, maybe even get it close to 0 seconds if you consider extra skill point levels from the Fazir. And that means you're pretty much spamming this and then using Sword Smash every now and then to auto trigger Sonic Pulse on the enemies. That means you don't need to put Sonic Pulse on your skill bar. I can't show you the Mountain King Hatch because it's not here. But basically Mountain King Hatch gives you 50% a chance to do Sonic Pulse when you do Sword Smash, or 100% chance if you have the set bonus. And that goes very well with Egg of Mayhem builds. But for a Vortex Bomber, that's actually pretty interesting to get that extra cooldown reduction stacked with this. And Uh, but Drinker doesn't really favor stacking HP. Yes, you heal based on your maximum HP, but Drinker also can give you extra damage reduction, which can stack with your defense resistances. I always focus on defense. Defense is the best stat in the game. No matter how much you heal and how much HP you have, if you don't have resistances, you're gonna have a bad time. Right now the game is balanced in such a way that HP builds are pretty much a joke. Unless you're using the overly boosted Fazir stats, which shouldn't exist in the game. I don't think about Fazir challenge bonus. I'd like to think about the Fazir challenge bonus not existing in the game, because that's how it's supposed to be. And for us to get stronger from a different place without needing to rely on this this Fazir bonus. So yeah, if you don't have that extra boosted Fazir bonus gear, HP is just pointless. I focus on physical defense, as much physical defense as possible, and then every now and then I can maybe get one thing with fire, one thing with poison, one thing with electric to give me like over 10k extra. But I try to get the physical defense as high as I can, ideally, because it's the hardest one to get high, and it works against everything, especially some enemies. Some enemies are just physical, like Netherim enemies and things like that. And you're welcome. If you have the gear, definitely worth testing a Vortex Bomber build. It's gonna be your your build where you're just standing in one place spamming Vortex Bomb. And you would want to stack Vortex Bomb damage. Damage to Vortex Bomb, that's what you want to stack. And extra skill levels to Vortex Bomb. Without extra skill levels to Vortex Bomb, you can't get the cooldown down as low as you want it to be. You want it to be around at least a second and a half. If you can get it to a second, that's fine. Anything under a second is overkill because of the animation of Vortex Bomb, and because you ideally would still use a heat builder to build 25 heat after each Vortex Bomb. And for that, Cyclone mode without leveling up, Cyclone mode probably would be the best heat builder. Keeping Cyclone mode at like level, what was it, level 1, level 2? I can't see it now, just a moment. Cyclone mode without a point inside it, just the 2 points from the bonus of the set, would be probably the best to build heat. Because it's... Actually, no, Cyclone mode with the tier 1 bonus. So it can be build heat quicker. 22 heat. And that's excluding heat generation from Shotgun Blast. I mean, that's an overkill. If you get the Shotgun Blast heat generation, it would be an overkill, but it's a possibility. I just wish that they would make it so that when we trigger from the Ancient Ember Gauntlets, when we trigger things like Venomous Maw, Sword Smash, etc., that has 2 or 4% chance to trigger, that it would also trigger the Egg of Mayhem. I wish it would work that way. I think it doesn't. I can't test it right now for you, but I can maybe go on my online hero to just test it on the dummies to see if I can get that to trigger. And I do play modern party games, although I don't know what you consider a modern party game. Isn't this party game modern? What is your definition of a modern party game? Give me an example. Right now I'm playing offline because my online hero slots are all taken, and I want to level up new types of heroes without needing to delete my old heroes, and I don't have room to make a Dusk Mage Bane on my online hero slots. Because I've got 13 heroes and there's 20 combinations in the game, which means I need to make 7 heroes offline. Unfortunately, that's how it is. Oh, and I finally got the Wood Beast sandals. I really needed those. Let's see. Duration for miasma, that's actually very good for some builds. Not for this one, but still. Okay, so as I said, I really want those. I really want those boots. I'm gonna sacrifice a little bit of damage. This actually translates into 25% damage increase, not 50. It's 50% increase of the 50% buff, which makes it 75 from 50, which means it's 25% extra damage I'm losing, while harmonic form is up. And I'm losing some mana again, but I really need those boots for the crit chance, so that I don't need to worry about crit chance from items. That way I can cap my crit chance at 40% with just the pet aura and the boots. That's the easiest way to get maximum crit chance. Wood Beast sandals and the pet aura deadlier strikes. That's 25 plus 15, which is the cap 40 crit chance. Then you don't have to worry about getting crit chance on your legs and helmet, and you can just get different stats there as a priority. Oh, if someone writes it, it's translated and checked. Well, I don't know what you consider a party game. Modern party game. That's what your question said. Modern party game. Yeah, so yeah, it's probably mistranslation. Haha. Those. No, dodge. Alright, there we go. And I'm gonna write the thing. He said he doesn't understand when I say it, but if I write it, it gets checked. I'm gonna write, what do you mean by modern party game? Let's check if I misspelled it. I'm gonna ask for an example. That should be fine. It would be easier to understand it that way if he's using translate.
Your pack is too heavy.
Ace Million says, hey bro, can you try Cloak of Flames on PS4? Wait, I'm not on PS4, I definitely can't test it myself. It never gets a 50% larger radius, and when it does, it only lasts for a second. Then yeah, it gets small. It's the same on PC. It's the same on PC. It gets the big radius, and then it shrinks. It's weird, but it's a bug that people have reported very long ago, and it still hasn't gotten fixed. I'm assuming it's probably something serious for something like that to not get fixed yet. It's as if it lasts for a second, and then when it starts triggering the second proc, the second tick of the skill, it resets it back to the default radius. J-Max says, this game worth getting into? Like, is it better than Wolves? Wolves? Do you mean Wolsen? I'm not sure which one is Wolves. Wolves. I haven't heard of a similar game with Wolves. Maybe I'm just mistaking it. There are good and bad things about this game, so it all depends what you expect in a game like this. Do you play this game for the end game variety, or do you play games like those for build variety? End game variety is almost non-existent here. You have one dungeon that you run for 251 levels, and 251 different stages, so it's basically a rifting system with 251 rift levels, and that's it. That's the only end game this game has. It gets very monotonous, very repetitive, very boring. They've even attached power creep to it, which even makes it more unappealing to me. But in terms of build diversity, this game has so much to offer. You've got 4 classes, 5 subclasses. Every class can go with every subclass, so that's 20 combinations. And then across those 20 combinations, there's hundreds of different builds you can do when you consider items, class skills, subclass skills, the legendarium, which is kind of like Diablo 3's kunai cube, where you can just put powers of different items you found in there without needing to wear them. And yeah, combining that with your equipment and with the skills and class skills, and there's item granted active skills as well, so there's a lot of stuff to think about when making builds, a lot of things that offer you that huge, massive build diversity in the game. Ace Million says, I just bought Torchlight 2. Oh, nice. Enjoy it. There's definitely some things to enjoy, especially when it comes to mods. Token Company says, is this game more fun than Torchlight 2? Well, for me this is more fun than Torchlight 2 without mods. When mods are into the equation, well, it just depends. I personally like some things more in this game and some things more in Torchlight 2. But overall, I prefer playing this game more. Although there's a lot of people who prefer Torchlight 2 more, because Torchlight 2 is closer to Diablo 2 than this game. This game is trying to do things differently. It's trying to experiment, to do things in a way they haven't done before themselves as developers. They wanted to do things in a different way, to not copy-paste what they've already done in the previous games. So they definitely didn't want to make a Torchlight 2 with better graphics. They just wanted to make a new game with new ways of handling skill systems, new ways of handling classes and subclasses, etc. And the enchanting system is a little bit lacking in this game, but it still feels a little bit better than Torchlight 2. The skill system I definitely prefer more here than in Torchlight 2. And I'm talking about the base game, not the game with mods, because there's all sorts of weird mods. I haven't played every single mod there is. J-Max says, Wilson, sorry, auto, I just bought, so, even better than Diablo 3. Well, for me this game is more fun than Diablo 3, but in Diablo 3 I have more things to do in terms of end game. I have one type of rifts and then the other type of rift, which is basically the same type of content, and just slightly different rules, but the maps are the same, the enemies are the same. So it's like a reskin, so I consider rifting one type of endgame, even though there's two different types of rifting in Diablo. I still consider it as one type of endgame. But you have other things. You have Uber bosses, you have the what's its name, bounties, which is still an endgame activity. I mean, it's not necessary, it's not a must-do activity, but it can still give you items and things like that. It can give you materials for rerolling, for rerolling your item affixes. So it's still something that eventually people do when they feel the need to. You've got secret level here, you've got a secret alpaca level here, you've got a secret cow level in Diablo. But in Diablo you've got some weird maps like the unicorn map, the unicorn level, and things like that. I think Diablo has a bit more things to offer, but still doesn't have enough. I still think Diablo, for the time it has been out there as a game, it should have had so much more end game. But since the game is on life support, on a graveyard shift kind of support, they're focusing their development on Diablo 4 and Diablo Immortal, so Diablo 3 is kind of on the bare minimum in terms of new things getting added to the game right now. Whereas this game, the developers are actively working on it, developing it, adding new items, rebalancing, reworking things. Obviously they can't immediately add new endgame, which is one of the weakest links in this game, the endgame variety, which is non-existent. You just have one activity, as I said. But at least the developers are actively working on it right now, and maybe by the end of this summer we would see a new endgame activity added, so we can switch between one and the other. This is just me guessing, this is just me hoping. They know that we want endgame, they know very well that that's what people want, but they just can't give it to us right away before it's properly made, the new thing. Damn, I haven't gotten enough flasks. There's one here. But how do I get another one? Suddenly, the maps seem to be broken again. I've never had a problem with this map, with the Goblin Flasks. It's a first for me to see a Goblin Flasks quest map. broken, where they didn't drop enough, and where there weren't enough goblins. So what do I do now? I'm just gonna go back to see if I've missed an enemy or two. Please? No, it didn't. Come on, please drop that goblin fast. I know you want to. Nice. Last couple of goblins managed to drop this.
Your pet has arrived.
Okay. Ah. He teleported in the worst possible moment. Nochni says nothing is better than Diabu because Diabu is legend. Well, not if we're talking about Diablo 3. Yeah, Diablo 1 and 2. But even then, if I'm playing this game instead of Diablo 2, then I definitely enjoy this one more. If I go to play Diablo 2 now, vanilla Diablo 2, not Diablo 2 with mods, with those extra quality of life huge mods that add good textures and quality of life changes and everything. If I go and play vanilla Diablo 2, I'm just not gonna enjoy it as much as I remember it from my childhood. That's why I don't want to ruin the memory. Because when I was a child, I didn't care about meta. I didn't care about finding the best synergies. I just played whatever the strongest items were that drop, and I played the skills I liked. And I was still able to just take a skill I like and just play it and beat bosses and farm better items without thinking whether I'm meta or not. But now if I go and play the game, I would immediately start thinking which skill gives me the most damage on this class, which item do I want to synergize it with, what stats and charms do I want to take. I definitely don't like the charm system where you have to fill your whole inventory with charms. I definitely don't like the set system, although in Diablo 2 it was much better than Diablo 3. Diablo 3 has a terrible set system where you just get crippled in terms of options of builds and item sets to use, because you use that set, then you use that skill that this set makes stronger, and you don't have many alternatives. But in Diablo 2 it wasn't that bad. Sets weren't that overpowered. You had some super strong uniques out there, and some super strong yellow items as well, with some amazing affixes every now and then that you could find. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna put some stuff here. Diablo 1 is just it's in a completely different league, because it was the first such game where you see visually in front of you the things happening. That the first like action ARPG kind of system. It was not a turn-based RPG. It was not a text-based RPG. It was the thing that you see happening in front of you in the moment. You do the spell and then boom, immediately you see it traveling and then colliding with an enemy. So it was definitely kind of a revolutionary thing back in the day, having this massive change. that first original Diablo. We don't see such innovations anymore because there aren't that many things that haven't been done already. Most things have been done, especially when it comes to story. Most story plot lines have been done, redone, and redone many times in books, in plays, in movies, in games, in all sorts of things. So it's very hard, for example, for me to get surprised by the story in a game. Be it someone getting betrayed by a close one or an ally, or be it some unknown force invading and people having to unite against it, or all sorts of scheming behind the scenes to make us do things that we normally wouldn't, being manipulated by some bad guys. This is kind of like storylines that have been done over and over and over in games. So in general, when I play games, I don't really care much about the story, especially if it's an action RPG. Unless it's a story-driven Witcher style RPG, like Two Worlds, like what was the name? I forgot the name. Shit. The Re-Reckoning. Age of Armor, The Reckoning, and Re-Reckoning. So those types of story-driven RPGs, yeah, for those, I kind of play them for the story mostly, because that's their main selling point. They have some sort of interesting story. It's not that it's gonna surprise me, but I try to enjoy it as a journey. But when I play games like this one, everything has been done. Almost. Let's say it's gonna be almost impossible to surprise me in a game like this with some sort of storyline that hasn't been done. But I don't play those games for the story. WoW's story was pretty interesting, but it wasn't anything too special. It wasn't anything that we haven't seen many times in other places be done. Last Epoch, interesting story, nice take, time travel. This kind of was for me a unique thing, having that time travel. It still has been done in other games, but not in an action RPG to have that time travel in a isometric looter game. So I really liked that one as more of an original take on the genre, traveling between different ages, eras. So I would say Last Epoch probably has some sort of a more interesting original kind of plot. Grim Dawn, pretty standard plot, very Path of Exile and Diablo-like. For me, Grim Dawn and Path of Exile are more of a Diablo 2 successor than Diablo 3 is, especially Grim Dawn. Grim Dawn is more of a Diablo 2 successor than Path of Exile for me, spiritual successor. It just has more of a Diablo 2 feeling than Path of Exile. Yeah, Grim Dawn is just... it has so much to offer without making you start over every time you make a new hero. Every time there's a new expansion, you can reuse your old heroes. You can take a hero from 5-6 years ago, just farm some new items, rework the devotions and skills, and bam, you've got a viable build without needing to regrind the story and start over and redo everything every few months. And the game is enjoyed by many. By thousands of players, tens of thousands of players, every time there's a big expansion. So Grim Dawn has done it very well in the premium model, buy to play with expansions model. And this is what Torchlight 3 can achieve. If Torchlight 3 gets some more activities like Grim Dawn has, and eventually starts adding new acts and bosses and stuff, it could work. It could definitely work, but see, Grim Dawn doesn't have a boring power creep system. Torchlight 3 doesn't need a boring power creep system for us to be able to do the Fazier. But it has it. It has that useless, pointless power creep system that just makes me wanna vomit when I see power creep connected to items. This is how bad I feel when I see such terrible, lazy designs, such as the challenge bonus system. There is nothing lazier in terms of giving the players power than just giving them stronger items after max level as they progress into a certain end game. This is just the easiest thing to do. Keep pushing this end game activity, keep getting stronger items as you go. And just not fun. It's just basically you get more stats, the monsters get more stats. Actually, your items get more stats, the monsters get more stats. You remain the same. Nothing else changes. I've been playing Magic Legends and I don't want to review anything that would break the NDA, but I can talk about Magic Legends about the things that we've seen in videos. The things we have seen in videos. We have seen that spells can rank up, and they have said that spells go to rank 10, so I'm not revealing confidential information. People know that from the devs themselves. So yeah, you're beating the game and your spells are not max rank, but if you want to beat the hard difficulties, you have to just rank up your spells. And you have to farm some materials, resources to get those spells higher. You want to try a new build? Well, you rank up new spells of new types for that new build. So at first that new build won't be as strong, but you don't have to level up a new hero. You can just play the same hero. You just need to spend a little bit of time grinding for spell pages. So that's things we know. That's not me breaking the NDA by saying those, because we know we've seen that in developer videos, in streams. And that's a very good system in terms of not needing to start over a new hero if you want to try a new build. And not needing to get item power creep to be able to reach the hardest content. You just need to do a little bit of extra farming to get stronger so you can handle it quicker. You can still handle it. I was actually able to do the hardest mission today, and yeah, I died a lot. My teammates had to carry me. We needed like 1,000 item power, gear score or whatever it's called, and I had 500 and they had like 700 something and 800 something. So neither of us was up to speed, but we in the end managed to finish it. They had to carry me during the boss fights, because there were some things that would just one-shot each of us. There was this one boss attack that would one-shot even the strong allies. But yeah, took a while, but in the end we managed to beat it. And again, if we were with up to speed items, it would have just taken us much quicker. It would have been quicker to do it. But it wasn't a matter of whether you can do it or not. It was a matter of how quick you can do it or not. And neither of us had maxed out spells. My spells were at rank 5-6, and I'm assuming theirs might have been at like 6, 7, 8 tops. And yeah, with better builds, better synergized builds, with better things in our inventories, etc., it would have been quicker. But at least we were able to beat it, and I think that's a very good way of handling things, very good way of balancing the game and not needing to rely on power creep to make people play the game. So yeah, Magic Legends, if you have some questions, I might be able to answer those. If I'm, it's a fine line between breaking the NDA and not. And thankfully I know what has been announced in streams and dev videos, and I can talk about those things and tell you if I like those or not without revealing anything that hasn't been announced. But it's a mixed bag of feelings. Playing Magic Legends is it's a roller coaster ride. Like, some things I really enjoy, other things like that's how some things in the game make me feel. Like ew when I see some things in the game. But it's an alpha, and they have a month to fix those things, which I think is not enough. And my prediction for Magic Legends is on launch day. First, they would have serious problems with the servers. That's my prediction. On launch day, people would overload the servers, probably problems with the login servers. If not with the login servers, probably performance issues due to the servers being overloaded. That's just me predicting. And many people would say very bad things about the game wherever they can review it. Thankfully, the game is not gonna be on Steam as an early access game. It's gonna be as an open beta in the Epic Store, so there's no reviews on the Epic Store other than Metacritic scores and stuff like that. But there's gonna be a lot of people saying bad things about the game, and for good reasons. And most people probably would give it 60-65 as a score, maybe 70. Probably. And I think they should postpone the open beta by 2-3 months and just work on reworking some things. I'm gonna send them a lot of feedback. I'm just trying to test different classes so I can give proper feedback about those. But there's a lot of things I want to say about Magic Legends to the devs by writing them some feedback. I've already seen most of those things being said by other people, which is good. It's good to hear that other people think the same as I do in the alpha forums. Let's see. Angered Ancestors, this is where I stop pushing. I don't do past this stage. Sometimes I do, but most of the times I just don't like being bothered to do Angered Ancestors maps. It's just not fun doing Angered Ancestors maps, the way they've designed that boring graphics. Come on. Where are the champions? Let's try and spawn some. No one spawning here. come on. I want that frost wall. I really want that frost wall to finally drop. Socketed frost wall, regardless of what stats are on it. I really want one. Socketed frost wall where I can put some poison chance in the socket will be perfect. Then I'm gonna replace this one. It's a placeholder right now. Imbue Relic will go there. Wouldn't mind a token of rapid bartering as well, that's gonna help me farm gold coins and essences quicker. Okay, let's just do this. Let's see here. Oh wait, I activated my harmonic form. Let's quickly kill the boss before it runs out. He dodged it. Nothing that grabs my eye dropped. Okay, pet, let's make some essence. Which reminds me, I need to collect some contract rewards. How many more? 11 more. Wow, okay, that's taking a while. Static discharge. Maybe I can do the Subwiron map. Let's do that, Subwiron map. It's 9:37. We've got some time until midnight, a little bit after midnight when I'm gonna stop. Actually, there's more enemies here. This Gear Wookie map isn't dropping much. Maybe we've just begun, that's why. Was it a Gold Wookie map I'm doing or a Gear Wookie? I didn't read well. Kinda hard without my glasses to read from this far from the monitor. The monitor is... When I stretch my arm, and it's a long arm, I can't touch the monitor, so I guess that's a good distance between the monitor and me. But it's hard to read without glasses, things are blurry, especially the text. But I don't like wearing glasses, they're super uncomfortable. I only put them on when watching movies from my bed, where I'm just too far away. Come on. Third letter says, Outriders, please be good. Third letter, are you miserable because of Magic Legends being bad? You know, the performance actually gets better. Especially when there aren't many people in the game, the performance gets better than what you saw at the start of the game. So you probably just, if you play when there aren't that many people in the servers, normally at night time for your region, and when you get past the initial tutorial quest, which is terrible, and the initial first zone maybe, but yeah, it does get better, not much, but it gets better, to the point where actually it's playable, it's very playable. But yeah, I really hope the Outriders demo is good, and I mean, with Magic Legends it's a free-to-play game and I'm still gonna play it and make content, but it's not gonna be a main game I play and spend a lot of time on, and it's gonna be very grindy for my taste. It's too much of an MMO. It has all the all the bad things of an MMO without the good things. Let's say it that way. It has the bad MMO mechanics without the open world without the massive part of an MMO, but it has all the shitty mechanics MMO games. But so yeah. Your credit card doesn't want to play. Outriders, you mean? Well, the demo is free. The demo is free of charge. In fact, the demo would be available on Stadia and Nvidia GeForce Now. If I'm not mistaken, both platforms would get the demo on the 25th. So they're trying to cover a lot of platforms with that demo, and there's gonna be crossplay. Every platform would be able to play with every platform when it comes to Outriders, which is one of the best things ever for Outriders, the full crossplay. You have friends playing on different platforms, no problem. Outriders has you covered. So demo, please be good. Please be good, Outriders demo. Please let us test the expeditions, the end game, not just the few first hours of the story. First few hours of the story is not what I care about. It's not gonna make me buy a game, the first few hours of the game. If you let me test the end game, that will make me buy the game if I like it. The first few hours of the story, I don't really care about the story. I don't play games for the story. Not Wooter games. Wooter games, they have a focus on end game and woot. That's why they call them Wooters. They don't care. They don't call them story games. So I hope they don't do a typical demo that just lets you play the first act or the first few hours, but rather let us play expeditions. That way they're not spoiling the story, which is great, and they're still giving us access to some of the endgame features to try. That would be the best thing they can do as a demo. I'm 99% sure that's not what's gonna happen, and they're just gonna give us the first few hours of the game, the first couple of missions or so. But here's to hoping. But yeah, I'm considering buying Outriders even if I don't like the demo, as a content creator. Even if I don't like it as a gamer, I think as a content creator it's gonna be good for my channel to have something new other than Torchlight 3 to stream, to play, to make content for. But hopefully I end up liking the demo, and it's worth buying it when I do. Pre-ordering it when I do. Square Enix learn from Avengers. Well, Square Enix is not the developers, they're the publishers, but hopefully they learned. You see, they delayed the game, which is good news and bad news. Bad news, it meant that the game was not in a releasable state for February, and they wanted to delay it for April. The good news is they gave themselves a solid extra 2 months. That should have been enough to fix things. But yeah, Square Enix are the publishers, and they were the publishers behind Avengers. But Avengers was not developed by one studio, but four studios. So you can see too many chefs in the kitchen. You know what happens. Avengers, the Wooter game, that happens when there's too many chefs in the kitchen. People Can Fly have a good track record. They made Painkiller. They worked on Gearbox, not Gearbox, on Gears of War. They worked on the Infinity Blade games. They have tons of years of Unreal Engine experience, and they actually have worked with Epic in regards to polishing, making better the engine for many years. So hopefully that experience they have means that they can really deliver some amazing things with the game, some weird mechanics and things to exploit, to experience. We'll see. I mean, I don't want to overpraise them and overhype them, but so far they have good track record, but so did the CD Projekt Red. CD Projekt Red, now known as CD Projekt Rect, they had a good track record as well. But then Cyberpunk happened. rushed launch. Super rushed launch. Even after a delay. Actually, after what? Was it 2 delays for Cyberpunk? Hopefully Outriders is ready for launch in April, and we don't get a nice April Fool's joke. We'll see. Are they gonna give us an April Fool's troll launch with yet another game that's not ready, or is it gonna be the one that finally redeems itself and not another Avengers, Anthem, etc. game disaster? Okay, let's Let's get the... Where's the portal? Oh, I need a Q Gunsmith Grundy. Okay. Third letter wants a refund. Refund of what? Of Cyberpunk? Or of Avengers? Which one do you want a refund of? I want a refund for Inquisitor Martyr, but I'm never gonna get it. All the shitty games. Yeah, definitely. I wish I could refund all the money I spent on Save the World long ago when I used to play it. When I used to hope that they would actually make the game fun and better and a proper Wooter game. Less of a tower defense grindy game. More of a shooter Wooter game. What's happening? I can't find that NPC. When did I miss him? Maybe he's in this corner. No? He's not here. Could it be that... Could it be that he just didn't spawn this time? Or maybe I didn't step on the trigger location? He should have been somewhere here. Or maybe here. Okay, there's some new spawns here. Maybe the gunsmith is here. Oh, he should be near the gunforge. So let's look for the gunforge. It's like a furnace.
Your pet has arrived.
I'm pretty sure I saw it somewhere at the beginning of the map. Come on. I think it's a bug. I mean, I would have gotten the NPC to spawn by now many times. If it was going to spawn. And see, the quest progressed, meaning I have found the forge somewhere in the map. I can't remember where. I'm just gonna exit. One last WAP. This is just wasting my time. But I'm gonna just check over here. See, this is the gun forge and the gunsmith needs to be nearby. But he isn't. And most likely I've actually killed him. I don't want to go back and re-watch my stream. But most likely he either didn't spawn. And this is where he normally spawns, around this thing. Or I've killed him and the game just hasn't realized it yet. Alright, let's exit that map. There's not much I can do other than exiting the map. At least the loading is quick. Third letter, 90% of your Steam library is shitty games. I feel bad for you. Games you wanna refund. I've got some little gems every now and then. Small games that maybe don't have as much replayability, but I've enjoyed playing while I did. I should start crafting wardrobes, so I don't have to use my storage. Okay, let's see now. New map. No, not this one.
If you think you can take it,
Your pet has returned.
that doesn't sound so tough.
Looking for the gear Waki map.
Doesn't sound so
Ideally with
tough.
dividing or uniques. Gear Waki status immune, that's 24.
Oh, so tough. If you think you can take it,
Yeah, let's do the 24 map.
time to slash, hack, and warp on back.
Let's see over here. No champion spawn. I'm not stopping unless there's a champion. Ah. I decided to stop here just to see if I can get a champion to spawn, but I couldn't. Let's see, maybe in the next one. Still no champion here. Maybe here. Let's see. There's no champions on this map. So far, zero. Zero champion spawns. Not even a purple. Did I just load into the worst possible map ever as a gear Waki map? I've never seen anything like it. Zero elite packs. Zero. Oh, one. Okay, one. Finally, and it's at least a legendary pack. Took a while. I mean, that's probably more than half the map covered already. Okay, second one, finally. Pros and cons about this game. I'm gonna start with the con, and that's the end game. The end game is the con of this game. There isn't enough. There's only one type of end game. Rifting, the equivalent of rifting. You have 251 stages. So think of Wosen. It's a copy-paste of Wosen's rifting system. You have X stages of enemy levels to do. The enemies get stronger and the gear you get stronger, which shouldn't. But it does since the final update, since the last update. So yeah, and that's it. That's the con. The pros are the immense amount of build diversity by having classes, subclasses, active skills of each of those, passive skills of each of those. You can level up active skills just for the passive. You have something like the Kanai Cube in Yabu, which is the legendarium, where you can take items you have found without wearing them, and you can select 3 and use their powers. So you can trigger certain effects or get some bonuses. and combine that with wearing some items that give you some bonuses, and you have some decent amount of build diversity, hundreds of different builds you can do, which is amazing. So that's one good thing. But the game lacks some quality of life changes. Thankfully, the next update is supposedly gonna bring a ton of quality of life. Let's hope it's the right type of quality of life. We'll see what type of quality of life we'll get. The itemization is great, but it needs quality of life, because you get one item and that's it. There isn't anything you can do other than enchanting the socket, rerolling the socket. So apart from that, you're left to RNG. So if you need that one item with those 2-3 affixes, you might get the item 100 times and never get those affixes you want. Or you might get super lucky and somehow unbelievably get it on the first or second drop of that item. So hopefully they add some item affix rerolling system soon, because it's really boring farming. I feel very demotivated farming items in this game. I feel like if I get that one item again, it's gonna be just as shitty as the last time. I've never seen a good rolled item in this game as a legendary, honestly. I'm still waiting to see a perfectly rolled legendary item. And I've played more than 2000 hours in this game, so as an alpha player, if I spend this much time playing it and I've never seen a perfectly rolled item, I don't know what to say. Other than they need changes regarding the itemization, quality of life. I've said it many times, Diablo 3 style rerolling of the affixes fits very well in this game. In a way, similar to Diablo 3, similar to Chronicon, similar to other games who have such systems that lets you change the stats that an item comes with. Okay, what remains? I need a few more. The combat is also very fun. One of the pros for me is the combat. Some people say the combat is terrible, but I guess they just have different tastes. For me, this combat is very fun, fluid, nice, responsive. Let's not say very responsive, because when you play online, it's not as responsive because the servers have problems, which could be considered a con. The netcode and stability and performance, the loading times, the big loading times, which again is server related, those I would consider a con of the game. But those can be improved. I mean, if their current engineer can't improve the performance, maybe outsource it to someone who can, as a one-time thing. But I would really love to see performance improvements in terms of server stability, rubber banding, loading times and things like that. I mean, sometimes it takes me less than a second in offline to load. Sometimes it takes me 20, 30, 40, even a minute. Not just seconds, but a minute sometimes to load. So you can see that means the server really is struggling. If I can load in under a second sometimes, and then when I play online, I need 20-30 seconds and sometimes double that.
Your pet is hurt.
Then there's something wrong with the servers, with the netcode or whatever. But that's not a major concern, the loading times for me. I'd much rather see skills that don't go into cooldown without actually casting the skill, or skills that don't completely glitch out without letting me use them for a couple of minutes or so. And this only happens to me on the server, so it's server related bugs, desyncs. So yeah, if their current engineer can't handle it, and by the way, another map that can be completed because it doesn't drop, I don't know what to think about it. They apparently fixed it. It's either I'm super bad lucky in terms of maps, but I keep pulling the worst ones where I just can't complete them and get all the quest items. Or they just still need to work on those quest item drops and things. Okay, finally. I still needed to finish the last possible creature in the map. That shouldn't be needed. You shouldn't need to kill more than 80% of the enemies in a map to get all the quest drops. There should be some leeway in terms of skipping some enemies on your way, intentionally or accidentally, by missing them. You shouldn't need to kill every single creature to get all the quest drops. But sometimes even killing every single creature doesn't give you all the drops. As it happened while doing the story in one of the quests the other day. Landmines, okay. The pet system is actually both a pro and a con. It's a pro because it's fun, nice. It's a con because you don't have much control over what the pet does. So you can't tell it to attack a specific target only and focus that target. And the AI, not just for the pet but for all sorts of minions, really needs work. Minions in this game, especially melee minions, they are missing their first 7 years of school. Let's say they need to be taught how to do certain things, how to behave in certain situations. And I hope the devs start teaching the AI new tricks and new types of behavior.
Your pet has arrived.
Ranged minions seem to be a little bit better. But there are no ranged pets for balance reasons. Every pet is the same. Needs to be close range to attack with their basic attacks.
If you think you can take it. That doesn't sound so tough. Seen it before.
So yeah, I think I said enough about pros and cons. I can probably talk a lot more about it when I remember certain things, when something comes to my mind. But if anything specific, if someone needs to know anything specific about the game, just ask specific questions. The more specific the better. Like, how is this thing in the game, how is that thing in the game. And Nerd Gamer, welcome back. Sorry for the late reply. Nice having you here. And Watch Harvey Dent. Oh, interesting name. You're welcome. I mean, I don't mind answering such questions. I understand if someone is planning on buying a game, they want to know as much as they can about it. So do I go for the infamous or for the Gearwalkie map? And this is the end game, by the way. You see, you're given... basically, you start like this. This is the end game. You start like this, and you have to finish this map. Select 1 out of 3. The first ones are always the same until you finish them. Then they start randomizing like every other one. Once you complete the map, everything gets randomized. If I complete one of those here would also change. If I fail, they won't change. And if they won't change. If I fail, I think they changed. I kind of forgot. They keep changing some things. It used to be that if you get killed, you can return, it would be the same map. And if you leave, it would be the same map. But I think now, if you leave, it will be the same map. But if you get killed, I think it changes. I'm not exactly sure. And you beat this one, which is a boss. And then you get a checkpoint. So if you die here, you go back to this one. If you die here, you go back to this one. If you complete this, this is your new checkpoint. If you die here, you go back here. If you die here or here, you go back to 4 until you beat this one, and then it's the next one. You can see this changes every time you complete a set of 4. You get a new monster affix that gets combined with those positive blue and negative red affixes. And eventually here you get 2. Eventually here you start getting 3, and the top is 3. And in the end you would be fighting 3 negative here, 1 negative here, and 1 positive here. Let's do this one, by the way. If this is on sale right now, it's not bad. But as I said, the end game is the weak link in this game. I can tell you that the devs really care about the game, and the devs really like listening to us. And there's even a place where we can report bugs and upvote other people's reports and feedback. Not just bugs, but all sorts of feedback. How much they pay attention to the votes, upvotes. I mean, they obviously won't spend a lot of time developing phishing when there's much more pressing matters. And I agree with that. I would much rather not see phishing until they've added more endgame activities, until they've improved the quality of life in all sorts of areas in the game, until they've rebalanced everything properly. But phishing is the most upvoted suggestion, the most upvoted threat on Note, on the feedback center. Why, it's beyond me why people really care about a phishing mini game that was so boring in Torchlight 3. It was not phishing, Torchlight 2. It was not phishing that was great. It was the pet transformations in Torchlight 2 that were great from the phishing system. The phishing itself was pretty boring, and even this is less boring than the phishing. Standing there gathering a resource to get things. If they improve the gathering, I would much rather do the gathering instead of the fishing. So if they increase the rewards I can get from the gathering, just add more nodes, maybe add a random essence gathering. So you can find a node where you can gather that node and have a chance to get blue or legendary essence, or green if you're unlucky. That would be much better than a stupid fishing minigame. And maybe a node that you can gather that can give you items randomly, maybe a chance to get blue and legendary, and the minimum would be green, something like that. But they've already added that with gear work. By killing an enemy you have a chance to get an extra item, and that chance goes up to 100%. Not 100% chance to get item, 100% chance on the base. The base could be 1%, and then the 100% could make it 2%. But yeah, you see there's this Wookie thing. When you kill an enemy, if you get Wookie, it says Wookie on the screen, and that means you get an extra item. See this one. That extra item can never be white. It can be green, blue, or legendary. And this is just an extra drop. So it's not chance to get legendary gear, it's chance to get extra gear which can be legendary. But yeah, that's definitely better than gathering something for a chance to get an item and fishing for a chance to get something. But fishing is still the most voted feature. The most requested thing on Note. It's been like that since early access. It's also the most downvoted feature, I think. For a good reason. Some people actually think what's good for the game. The fishing system in Torchlight 3 is basically you can find a fishing spot. In Torchlight 2, you can find a fishing spot. And then there was a fishing mini game where there's, I think it was a circle with a dot in the middle. And you had to get that circle to match a different circle, but to not get 2 in or 2 out. And it keeps expanding. it probably looks weird when I do it like this, but yeah, the circle kept tightening and expanding. You had to get it in the right place. And then you pull out the fishing rod, and then you can get a fish. And you can, different types of fish. And then you feed that fish to your pet in Torchlight 2, and the pet can either get stronger or maybe transform into a different type of pet that has different skills and does different things for a set duration of time. But it wasn't the fishing that was great, it was the fish itself. It was the buff, the transformations of the pet, the way where you can have the pet become something else for a while. That was what was fun, not the fishing itself. And you could get other things, not just fish, from fishing in Torchlight 2. But again, it's just... They've said it that if they do fishing, they would want to do a full out, proper, nice system. But again, there's just so many other things, that are more important than that right now. Watch Harvey Dent, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the Struckwap on Twitch. Really appreciate it. And thank you very much as well. Good work to you with the games you play, and have a nice day from me. Thanks for stopping by very much. Let's see if I've missed some other chat. But regarding mixed reviews, games like this tend to have mixed reviews, but in this game's case it's for a good reason. It does a lot of things different. It does a lot of things in ways that people are not used to seeing things done, and it definitely made fanboys of the old game unhappy because it wasn't a Torchlight 2 with better graphics. It was doing a lot of things different than Torchlight 2, and many people didn't enjoy it. I personally really enjoyed this game more than vanilla Torchlight 2. Vanilla meaning without mods. But many people don't. Many people think that vanilla Torchlight 2 is better. Not sure why. I mean, I think if we are comparing the game without the end game, just the game without the end game, I like this game more. Maybe the story is boring, but for me story in general is boring in Wooter games. The leveling feels a little bit boring sometimes in this game, maybe because I've done it a lot. Maybe I've leveled so many heroes, for me it's now like a chore. It feels wrong when I have to level up yet again if I want to test a new relic with a hero. To have to level up that hero again, and to have to level up 20 times so you can test all different combinations. It definitely feels wrong, and I like the way it was before. Before you can level up a Dusk Mage and then you can just take one relic from one hero and put it on another. And it wasn't that bad. You could just change it. If they make a system where you can change your subclass from the skill station by unspecking every single skill point first, I would do it. In the worst case, you would have to get 7-tier spectacles, so you can unspec every single skill point. But I think if you had to unspec every single skill point from the relic, then that's much more reasonable. And to be able to just change your subclass. I think that would be the best quality of wife they can give us. And then people wouldn't need to level up like sinners like me, 20 different heroes just so they can have one of each. See, right now I've got 20 points in Bane. Remove those 20 points, go to the skill station, pay maybe 10,000 gold coins or 25,000 gold coins, and boom, change my subclass from Bane to something else without needing to level up a new Dusk Mage. That would be so much better. So much better. I'm sure many people would agree with me here. Let's see. Or let us power level heroes without needing to do the story. And just level up in co-op in the Fazir. If they bring back Mapworks to the shop, green Mapworks costing 500 gold, that would be amazing. To be able to buy green Mapworks and to just level up with Mapworks out, that would be a little bit more bearable than the boring story. It's much less boring leveling with Mapworks than the story, to be honest, at least for me. It's more grindy and more repetitive, but it's more fun and quicker, much quicker, even if you do it solo. I've done it. I've leveled up a hero before with just Mapworks. I had saved up a bunch of blue and legendary maps, and one of my heroes I leveled up that way. But if they bring Mapworks to the store, to the shop, I would be just leveling that way. Thankfully, unlike other games, this game doesn't have skill points as rewards from quests. So you're not forced to do the quest to level up, but you're forced to do the story to unlock Fazir, which is terrible. This thing, for example, should be, as I've said many times, you should be forced to only do the story once per class. Once on a Dusk Mage, and then your next Dusk Mage shouldn't need to do the story, and then they need to add class story. Dusk Mage story, Realm Master story, Forge story, Sharpshooter story, personal story. Personal for this class. You finish that personal story for this class, you unlock the Fazir for every single hero of that class on the account, and that's it. That would be so much better than needing to finish the final quest. And the personal story should kind of tie into the main story as some side quests, side objectives. And by the time you finish the last boss, you should have unlocked the last quest and finished the last quest of the personal story, which unlocks the Fazir. So maybe the last quest of the personal story should be to kill the final boss. You do it once, boom, immediate unlock of the Fazir on every other hero of that class. I mean, again, it doesn't take too much to think of something like this. I thought of this few months ago while I was streaming, and we were just discussing this with some of my viewers. And I'm pretty sure game designers have much better ideas than mine in regards to handling things like those. But we gave them this feedback long ago. At first, actually, the Fazir was it was very broken before it came to the public, because it was like that you can join someone who has reached level 251, and they can complete it, and they immediately complete it for you, which they obviously changed because it was overpowered to work that way. But that's how it was before the Fazir dungeon even got released on the test server. Okay, is this map done? Oh, it is done. Let's see. Come on, shadow step. Kind of wasted some time. It probably would have been quicker if I walked straight there instead of teleporting. Which boss? Oh, this boss.
Your life is slipping away.
Okay, boom. Let's release this one. Lightning Bower. We've been bowling. Actually, not the one I needed, but at least it's a legendary drop. Very badly rolled, but still a legendary drop. Let's put some stuff here. Oh, the pet's full. Well, pet, just a moment, pet. Let's send the pet to sell and dismantle some more items. Getting close to 100 blue essence. It will be needed when I get legendary items and start re-rolling affixes on those.
Is back.
Level 60 legendary items. I'll need all the essence I can get. Did I finish this contract? Okay, let's drink a little.
So decisive.
Now let's look for the Gear Waki map. Infamous Uniques also is not bad, but ideally Gear Waki Uniques or Gear Waki Dividing. This one is out of the question. Angered Ancestors, Gear Waki, no.
Finish tightening up the ground.
This one's not bad. Oh. Netherwell Gear Waki. Netherwell Gear Waki, two of them. Tunnel of Decay, Shelter of Unknown Origins.
So decisive.
I'm just gonna quickly check here. So it's gonna be one of those.
What would
They're pretty similar. I'm gonna check this one. Oh yeah, that's the one I wanted to get. The other one would have been the same layout I did earlier, I think. Like a cave layout. And this one is the library layout. The archive layout, maybe let's call it like that. So I'm gonna go this way first. Okay, there we go. Wait, was that a dead end? Yeah. For a moment I thought it continued. The map kind of deceived me. I've been deceived by the minimap, by the overlay map. Better off using Absolver. Over here. But yeah, I'm trying to farm for this build. I'm trying to get certain items. I need 2, ideally 3 more items. So I need Ancient Ember Boots, top 1 priority for me. Number 2 priority Frostwoe. Number 3 priority the weapon from Frostwoe set. Either of the 2 weapons would work. Even if it's junk stats and I only have 6000 damage. It's better than nothing, as long as I can have this extra cooldown, so I can refill Venomous Maw quickly. And then the build would be semi-ready, half ready, or let's say 80% ready, excluding min-maxing and stuff. I mean, obviously I would want the right celestial items equipped. I would want Celestial Cuirass equipped, so I can empty up room in the Legendarium for the Liu General, which is my number 4 preferred item. So on my to-do list, number 4 is the Liu General for the Legendarium. But before I can even consider Liu General in the Legendarium, I need to find a Celestial Cuirass that's not WoW level, so I can equip it. So I'm farming for some items specifically before I can make this build video. I mean, I can make this build video even now. But I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time talking of you want this item here, you want that item there, which I don't have, and I have this item in the Legendarium where I should have that, and it's just gonna make the video even longer, and my videos are already quite long as they are because of the things I say. YouTube is back. Welcome back. Nice seeing you again. You're coming for the casual entertainment. It doesn't get any more casual than me. Well, actually, it probably does, but let's say casual is where it's at in my channel. Let's see. The ranting is hardcore, the skill is casual. That's how you can describe my channel. Hardcore ranting, casual skills. Oh, Winterweave pants, not bad. I actually never seen those. I know they look like the Celestial, just a blue Celestial. but I wanna see it. I really love blue and gold. In fact, in Magic Legends, I've made my gear look blue and gold. And I mean, blue and yellow is my channel theme. My RGB on my computer is blue and yellow as well. So yeah, blue and yellow, kind of love that as a model. I wish we had more control in the die system. I wish when we have time for that skill station. Where did the skill station go? F. Give me the F. F. Escape. F. Functional. I wish in here, instead of changing one color, we had control over two colors. So if I go to die in that, I wish I could change one and then the other. So click on the item and then click on die number 1, pick a color, click on die number 2, pick a color. Instead of like this, selecting pre-made combinations of colors. I like to select the main color and the accent color. That would be it. If they give us triple control, even better. Instead of preset, but they want dice to drop. They want us to be unlocking some special dice like those that still haven't been added to the game, by the way. Me and anyone else I've talked to hasn't found those dice. Yeah, it would be nice. Click on the piece, then click on die, and then here have option 1, 2 and 3. Maybe just like this with taps. Color 1, color 2, maybe 3, or maybe just 1 and 2 if it's easier. And then have a selection of the different colors, like that. Without seeing a preview of what the item looks like here, just seeing the color, like here, orange, red, blah blah blah. That would be a good quality of life, but it's definitely not a high priority for me, as things I'd like to see in the game. But it's nice to be able to change multiple colors. In Magic Legends you can change color 1 and color 2, and that applies to your whole set at the same time. So once I change color 1 and color 2, my whole skin, I can't make color 1 being black and color 2 be white on my helmet, and then go to my boots and have completely different color 1 and 2. I select them once for the whole cosmetics layout, and then I can change the skins separately. I can change the skins separately, but the colors are the same for everything. Synergized. That's how Magic Legends is handling it. And I would like to see something similar here, but with more control.
I think you could do better.
I really like it there though. I really like it there. And here I like it as well, but there's always room to grow in regards to cosmetic stuff.
What will it be?
But it makes sense in free-to-play games for them to think more about cosmetics, because cosmetics make them money. In this game, cosmetics are just there for the players as a bonus. They don't sell skins in Torchlight 3. So cosmetics shouldn't be that big of a priority. Let's see. Ah, no. Stay away, stay away, stay away, stay away. Melted. There's something very satisfying about venomous small builds. Just by shooting out that straight big projectile, double spider projectile. and then having those extra procs from Diego of Mayhem. It's fun. And then skip enemies until there's a champion. And now I can stop, do this, and do this. Okay. Okay. Any champions here? No. Moving on then. Entropy. Shoulders with entropy. How am I doing with the contract levels?
You are wounded.
Shh, almost died. Almost died there. Don't open your contracts window while in the middle of a fight and there's champions nearby. That's a pro tip. If it wasn't obvious, well, now you know. Let's see. Gotta make a series of pro tips in brackets. Pro tips for dummies. Maybe we can call it like that. Let's see.
Cast that here.
Ah, no, 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 no. Go back. Bad Porto. Bad Porto. Oh, fuck it. I'm just gonna do a new map. It put me at the beginning of the map. Now I have to run all the way back. Bad design. I'm telling you, we need so much quality of life for certain things. Like every time you click on a portal, it needs to ask you yes or no, not teleport you. Especially like now, I was trying to put an item behind the portal. I was holding out to show nameplates, yet it still entered the portal when I clicked on the name of the item.
Nicely.
And if someone doesn't want the yes or no, they can disable it with a toggle from the options. That should be how it is. But it's not. And now you saw what happened. I returned, but it didn't put me where the portal was. It put me at the beginning of the dungeon. So I had a choice: run all the way back to the portal, Or just leave the dungeon and start a new one without killing the boss at the end and opening the boss chest. Which in my opinion was the better decision. Didn't feel like running pointlessly. There we go. Over here. Come on. Well, that's a new unlock and it gives me damage to Observer and it's a farming item, so it's an upgrade. Just need to add some more defense from the legendary, from the enchanting counter. It's an appreciated drop. It's not the drop I wanted and needed, but it's an item that's still good for me. That should hopefully help my farming a little. Was it a champion or a regular monster that dropped? I actually don't remember what it dropped from. But yeah, on those dividing maps, mostly the drops come from the trash mobs. Because there are just so many of them. Ah, shit. Harmonic form got activated unexpectedly. Surprise harmonic form. Was gonna say harphonic harphonic morm. Yeah, new word, harphonic. In the structionary. I need to make a structionary with mispronounced things from my stream. And maybe make a chat command structionary that randomly puts one of those mispronounced things. If that's even possible with the bots, but it should be. Let's see, like this. Like this, come on. It's getting a little bit warm. I'm gonna quickly remove the hoodie in just a moment. No, no. They caught me off guard. Okay. And there we go. What's the time? 10:48. Oh, we've got time. We've got enough time to find some more wood today. Give me that someday wood. Someday farm day wood. Normally on Sundays I play non-Torchlight 3 stuff, but since this week I've played non-Torchlight 3 stuff in other days, I guess it evens out. I try to make sure that at least once a week I do something that's not Torchlight on stream. It could be Chaos Bane, it could be some new game, some demo game, it could be some new free-to-play game. Obviously free-to-play games and demo games are much easier for me to stream than buy-to-play games due to, well, budget restrictions. But I've got another game, another demo game that I really wanna stream soon when I have some time. Envil, it's a demo on Steam. You might wanna check it out. If you've played games like Alien Shooter, that's that type of a game. That more simplistic shoot 'em up, top-down, kind of third-person top-down, not actual top-down. And it's fun, it looks very fun, it has a lot of potential, and what I played in the Steam demo. It might seem very repetitive, but at least there is some progression, there are things to do, there are different classes and builds you can experiment with to keep it fresh. But Envil, one word, ANVIL. Kimboskian says, hey Struck, other than the Summoner Bane build, what build is fun for the Sharpshooter? Well, the same build I'm playing right now, but on a Sharpshooter. So a Venomous Maw build. Basically, this is your relic side of things. Venomous Maw, Energizer, Spread of Death. And that's it. Simple. Not even using Arachnid Assault. Then you take the whatever precision skill you want. You take Explosive Arrow or Tight Grouping or Scatter Shot or Targeted Strikes or Onslaught. I would suggest not Onslaught. I would suggest Tight Grouping, Targeted Strikes or Explosive Arrow or Scatter Shot. Just not Onslaught for this build, because Onslaught has a very short range. And for this build, you can see the range of this missile. It has a very high, very long reach, let's say. So it wouldn't synergize well with Onslaught. Oh, this is nice. Upgrade, yes. And yeah, take any precision skill you want, take Shasta tier 2 again, maybe take Goose, and then what you want is Ancient Ember Boots for Imbue Relic. And you want Frost Wall and one more item of the set equipped with the Frost Wall, and then you want Liu General in the Legendarium. Then what you want is probably, if you can get it, the Ancient Ember Gauntlets, if you can squeeze them inside the build. They would really work well. So yeah, the same thing that I'm playing, but a Sharpshooter version on Bane would be very fun. With Egg of Mayhem, so in the Legendarium you would want the Egg of Mayhem. You'd probably want, would be Sandos is optional, but you would want Egg of Mayhem and Liu General. And then one more thing that could be would be Sandos, it could be something else. Obviously, if you wear the Woodsby Sandals, you can just swap the Ancient Ember stuff there. But I would say three pieces of equipment Ancient Ember equipped is not a bad choice. So if you wear the gauntlets with the boots, then maybe get shoulders and maybe put 1 point into Arachnid Assault, or maybe wear the legs. Or actually the chest, whatever. Actually the chest won't work well, and the helmet probably won't work well. But yeah, you would want those two pieces to be Ancient Ember on one such Sharpshooter build. And one more piece to get the set bonus won't be a bad option. You don't need the set bonus for the Ancient Ember boots unless you're using Arachnid Assault. But it would be nice to have the gauntlets bonus, so you can trigger some extra Venomous Maw procs instead of 2%, 4% chance. It seems to be worth it. And it's gonna be a fun build. It's gonna be definitely a non-summoner, pure sharpshooter mage build. Sharpshooter caster build, maybe. Nuker build. There goes my gold coins and my essences. Okay. Ooh, nice. First try. 38%. Getting there. I still have level 36 here. And level 5 here. I still have some level 5 and 36 items equipped. Not much can be done if RNG is not on my side. So enjoy testing one such build. Hope it turns out well for you. So basically the same rules apply as my summoner build, except you're slightly reworking the skills, but in terms of items, it's mostly the same as the infectious summoner. Oh, you would want the infectious shooter. So let's say here instead of Woodsby Sandals, infectious shooter. So you would want Egg of Mayhem, infectious shooter, and Liu General. Liu General only if you're using Imbue Relic. If you're not using Imbue Relic, don't even bother putting Liu General here. Whether the Dusk Mage is better than the Sharpshooter, they're equal. In my opinion, they're pretty equal in many ways. One build that you can do on Dusk Mage, you can do the same build on a Sharpshooter with just slightly changing the class skills, but getting overall the same experience with slightly different visual. Oops, wrong. Slightly differently looking visual on the screen because you're using different skills, but they're very equal classes. The thing is, with Dusk Mage, you heavily rely on harmonic form because of this item, and because of harmonic form itself providing you mana regen and damage, and this thing gives you extra damage. So this gives you 100% extra damage and 50% mana cost reduction with the set bonus. Then you take something like this item. This gives you, during harmonic form, another 25% damage. This 50% damage buff makes a damage buff that gives you 50% damage, gives you 75. Which, as I said earlier today, this translates to 25% damage increase, which stacks with this 100, so it means you get 175%. And then this mana cost reduction, 50%, stacks with this 50% mana regeneration buff increase. And the mana regeneration buff, I can't remember how much it was, but we can quickly check. Harmonic form mana regeneration, just a moment. I'm gonna check it. So harmonic form is this thing, you're gonna see it in a moment. So I get 50% energy regeneration, and with that item I get 50% of that 50%. So I get 25% extra mana regeneration more. So with those legs and those gauntlets with the set bonus, you get 175% total extra damage during harmonic form, and you get 50% mana cost reduction for your skills, and you get 75% mana regeneration. You need this build on my website. Well, I need some items before I can make this build. You can check my other builds. My other builds kind of use the same way. of setting up the items. So if you take most of my Dusk Mage builds, there would be small differences to this one in terms of items. If you take my Absolver Zealot, the difference there would be I'm using the Aura, which is the equivalent of this. I'm using Walkaway Storm. Actually, no, I'm using Conjure Electrode in the Absolver Zealot. And I'm using 1000 volt burst for casting speed. But you can just use anything that's in the items, except you're not going to be using the legs. You're not going to be using the pants, the Ancient Ember pants, which I'm using on the Absolver Zealot, so I can get back energy when using Conjure Electrode. You don't need those pants. In fact, you need the Ancient Ember gauntlets this time around. And you don't need the shoulders unless you decide to use Absolver Zealot 2.0. This is the Electrode build. So if you take the items, let me just give you the link. Just a moment, I'm gonna go on my website and give you the link. Oh shit, it's making me log in. Right, I'm gonna log in and give you the link. You can read the item stuff on the website. I think that's good place to read it. If you don't want to watch the video, you don't have to. It's on the website. Absolver Zealot 2.0. Oh man, it's on the second page. Okay. Oh no, that's the final. You can't see it right now, but I'm gonna grab the link for you. Alright, that's the link. So for the Electrode version, it's not very similar, but with small differences here and there in terms of skills and so on, you would see that they're still similar. The similarities would be mostly on this and this side. Although on the Absolver Zealot, I had more points in the relic side of things. And less point in this side of things. And I wasn't using Consecration. And I wasn't using Spirit Well. Right now I use Consecration and then I put Spirit Well, and then the minions, while they're inside Consecration, then they give me extra damage. You can see it like this. Did they change it? Or is it just me? Do I need to use Consecration after the minions? Let me check it. They made the buff disappear because it was broken and it wouldn't... Yeah, see? This one. This is 5 times 15% damage. Which means I get that 38% damage. And then that other 75%, pretty strong. This is kind of like a meta setup. I intentionally haven't used this on most of my builds because it's easy cheesy mode when you use Consecration and Spirit Well, and it's a cookie cutter kind of mechanic because most people would really want this. And that's limiting the viability of other skills, and I wanted to show that you can have good builds without relying on Consecration and Spirit Well, combining those. Obviously, any build can be reworked to include Consecration and Spirit Well. And I've used Consecration and Spirit Well, and I've shown this in some of my older builds. I just... didn't want to make every single build I make with this thing in mind, but that's a lot of damage. And yeah, this is an Electrode build. The link I gave you is an Electrode build, but it's super fun because casting speed, you can get casting speed from the Electrode and from the Liu General. That's the only two places that give you casting speed. And it goes very well on an interestingly set up Dusk Mage. You can get a lot of DPS with that casting speed in mind. gotta be careful. Oh, look at how many. Am I in trouble? Alright, we cleared them out. Spamming, that's why I like to keep a decent supply of energy for such cases. Ah. I have very bad resistance in this map. What's my poison? By the way, my poison is wine. Today is a wine day in my country. Saint, maybe not Saint, Trifun's Day. Trifun is actually a name in my country, but there's a holiday that has to do about cutting the grapevines, I think. Not sure how the proper term is. Clipping, when you're clipping some things, something like that, I think. I don't know the exact story behind it. So Valentine's Day coincides with this holiday in my country. I've got some homemade wine from my uncle that I've been drinking during this stream. Just one glass, not too much. Just one glass. But yeah, that's my poison. When I said about the poison, I kind of remembered that I was drinking today. And cheers to anyone who's watching. Let's see. Oh, greeny green. Let's go here, prepare, and do this. Ah, it didn't come. It got stuck there. By the way, on builds like this one, having knockback won't be that bad. Any build that you use energy spike or entropy, knockback would mean every time entropy hits with those little projectiles or with the big one, or every time this one hits with a spike, it can knock back the enemy and then hit with the next spike or the next projectile. Just a little bit of knockback is fine. You don't want too much knockback because then you might end up knocking them back too far, too quickly, and then they won't take all the damage that you can inflict on them. I'm actually gonna keep playing in this map because of the gear work. There are just a lot of enemies to farm in this map. But yeah, knockback normally I don't like it, but on some Dusk Mage builds it works like a charm, having like 15, 20, 25% chance to knock back, roughly around that. Should be fine with energy spike and entropy builds. And that's mostly the skills that I would recommend using that on. Because that way with a single cast you can squeeze in a little bit of an extra hit on the same enemy with that same projectile during its lifespan. Although it's not a projectile with energy spike, it's more of a cascade. With the same cascade you can end up doing more hits for a single cast. Oh, look at that. Let's finish them.
You can't do that.
Any greens? No? Then let's go. Oh wait, let's pick up. Now I see why this wasn't picked up. Oh, now the pet is full. Oh boy. I really need a token of rapid bartering to drop. Wait, oh shit, my mouse died. Fuck, my mouse died. I need to charge it. Okay. I've disabled all those notifications when normally my mouse would be low and the Logitech software or whatever would tell me the battery is running low. I've disabled those. So until it normally it starts glowing red, but I can see it glowing when my hand is on it, because my hand is covering the Logitech logo. I could probably get myself that wireless charging mouse pad from Logitech, but I really don't want to waste money on something like this, and I can just plug the cable like this and it just does the trick. Spawn. Nice. Then the Beetle. Come on, Beetle. The Beetle is running away. Why are you running? Why are you running? Let's see. It's coming back now. I think it just had to go run to the store quickly before returning. It needed to buy something. By the way, I've got 0 potions and I forgot to tell the pet to buy potions, and now I'm just one hit away from getting wrecked. And I just got wrecked. I tried to run away on time. And this is why I think the potion system needs to change to not require getting those as drops. And to just be a cooldown. Wait, maybe this one can be stronger. Actually, no. I'm gonna stick to this weapon. I don't want to waste. I don't want to waste resources on upgrading a shitty weapon. Is there anything with entropy? Entropy. Well, now there is. I don't need this. Actually, let's put this over here. If I combine this and this with what I'm currently wearing, I can get set bonus, but I'm losing this absolver damage and I really don't want to lose this absolver damage. And the defense probably won't be as much. But then I can get extra potion cooldown, but it's not gonna do much when I run out of potions. And the extra teleport could save me, or I could just use it as an extra freeze.
So decisive.
Let's go back in the same map after buying potions. I'm not gonna stop asking for a better potion system until we get one. Where the potions don't drop and you don't buy them. You just have the potion on a cooldown and have a bunch of different potions to select from. That have different effects and different buffs.
Sweet. I just finished tightening up the graphics on that level.
And just pick one, use it. If you don't like it, pick a different one, use it until you get bored of it. Whatever fits your build more.
Think they made a cutscene for that one?
A lifesteal potion would be pretty interesting. That instead of healing you, gives you lifesteal for a few seconds. That would be so fun. Like 4, 5, 6 seconds lifesteal on hit. And there would be the instant build where you would be using the potion cooldown from the Winter Weave and using that lifesteal potion, and everyone would be using this, believe me. But yeah, maybe to balance things out, that potion could not be affected by the Winter Weave pants if they add such a potion. But yeah, they're just crippling themselves with this current broken, bad, outdated system with the potions. They can make it such more fun if they make it a healing skill instead of a potion, and just change the Winter Weave Pants cooldown reduction to healing skill instead of cooldown reduction to potion, and just give us a bunch of different healing skills to choose from. And that way we don't need to have potion work in our gear stats as a pollution of the affix pool. It's pretty shitty when you get health regeneration and potion work and gold work on the same item. I'm not sure if it can, but if it can, that's probably the 3 worst things you can get on an item. Potion work, gold work, and health regen. And I've gotten 2 of those many times on the same item. So yeah, trash rolls galore. If only this map wasn't Siege, it would have been so much easier to do. If I didn't have to dodge all the time. Beetle boys again.
Your pet is hurting. Your pet is bleeding.
Oh, and the pet is fleeing. At least I've got a Phoenix token equipped.
Your pet has returned.
Okay. Save me. Look at that. So many drones. There we go. So many drones. It gets hectic sometimes, but it's the good kind of hectic. That you just get swarmed from elites, which can drop good stuff. A little bit higher chance than the normal monsters. More beetles and teleported youth. Let's try and group them up. I'm gonna do a circle and group everything that spawns up with the thing that spawns here. And now dark spears. Ah, he teleported away.
You can't catch that. That spell
Let's keep moving. No. Okay, more drones incoming.
you can't do that here.
Such a hectic map. I don't care about dodging the Stormbringer, the lightning strikes from the sky, but I need to dodge those big rocks because they hit like trucks. Now I'm not sure how the damage is calculated for those rocks, whether they take the element of the parent NPC, of the NPC that casts it, or whether they're always physical. It's interesting. I've never asked and thought about this, but most likely the NPC that casts it, if the NPC is poison element, then that inherits the poison. If it's fire, it would inherit the fire. The siege thingy. It would have been nice if it's a fire NPC, the siege would change to falling meteors that are burning instead of a falling rock. If it's a Netherim or anything else with physical, to be just the rock, and if it's a poison enemy, to be like a plague rock. That's kind of like a burning meteor, but instead of burning green goo or whatever. Maybe it could be just a big poison ball falling from the sky, like the one from Plague Bearer, but falling from the sky. Would be interesting. And then if it's electric enemy, to just be like the lightning bow or like an entropy bow of lightning falling somehow, or maybe a big thunder. But a sphere of lightning should be better than a thunder. The thunder is just to end up being too bad on the ice. Okay.
You can't catch that here.
Okay, let's go there. No. Survived. I survived somehow. Although even if I die now, I don't have any more life bound. I lost my 8000 attack weapon, so I'm using 6000. And that brings me to another thing I don't like, the wife bound system. It doesn't have repair, it just you completely lose the item. It would have been better if it was a system with durability, where you farm some resources to repair a wife bound item that got broken after you died. Be nice if you call it unstable items and to just have to do stability when you die, and then to have to restabilize them. Some ember stabilizer that you find or craft with resources, or just do it from the enchanting altar. And based on what difficulty you play, you lose different amount of stability on that item. It could be durability, it could be stability. Stability feels a little bit more interesting, not your typical durability item breaking, and it makes sense. And then instead of wife bound unstable items. And it makes sense, it's a completely different name, but still kind of the same system, but with a twist. And not as punishing. And overclocking scroll, you can overclock you can overclock your item and it becomes less stable. And yeah, maybe something like that. It actually fits pretty well. Well, not overclock, the word just doesn't fit because it's more sci-fi tech stuff rather than this, but it can be something, can be they can think of something instead of wife bound scroll, what you could call it if the system is a system with stability and unstable items. Scroll of instability, or scroll of scroll of boosting, scroll of what would be a good name to call it? Yeah, I can't think of an amazing name right now. Maybe it will come to me later as I keep playing and I leave the process on the background and just let it process in the background there and get back to me when it's ready. Come on. No, fuck. Body blocked. I got body blocked by the damn Beetle. The Beetle Yoko Ono'd me. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Huh? Toy makers too, okay. Not a decent drop. I normally, if I would use this, it would be in the legendarium. And the pet's away now. What's the time? 11:28. Okay, I've got like 30-40 minutes more left of farming. See, this map proves to be good. Just look at how many enemies there are on this map. It's a gearwalky map, so again, I'd rather keep running it and killing champions rather than doing a new map. I'm so happy that they decided to make this one, to take the Acrid Plains map layout and make it as a Fuzzier Mapworks version. Okay, more beetles. Those ones don't sink. Okay, there we go. Ah, wait, was there something missing? I didn't see the fame drop. Oh, keep moving, keep moving. No. Ah. Come on, come on. Oh, 0 potions again. No. Why again? You better drop a potion now. I'm gonna send the pet quickly after I clear out everything around me. But it's gonna take it 2 minutes. To bring me pots. I've actually got one as a drop. That was close. My final potion. I still have 1 minute 17 seconds. This one better drop a potion. Come on. I think it didn't. Yeah, it didn't drop a potion, so we're back to 0. And the pet is not here to heal me because it's buying. And yeah, that sucks.
Your health is low.
Yeah, I know my health is low, but there's invulnerable enemies that I can't kill, but they can kill me. So not much I can do. Bugs will be bugs. See this enemy that's invulnerable? He can't be killed. But it can do damage to me, which is ridiculously broken.
Your pet has arrived.
Finally, potions. Power conduit. Oh, yeah. Huh? When did this guy show up? Is that finally an upgrade for my shield? Because I'm wearing a 56. Oh, this has less defense. How is this acceptable? Some shields really do have super badly bugged top row defense. Like level 60 should start around 9-10,000, but sometimes it's 5-6 and it makes no sense. It's still better. It's still better than what I've got as long as I give it extra chance to poison. I'm gonna lose 1,000 defense, but I'm gaining a lot of poison defense. And what else do I gain? I gain bog chance instead of chance to fear. And I don't have chance to swap, but I don't need it because I've got dark spears. And Perfection ZX, thank you very much for the follow to you. Welcome to the Struck Club. It's really appreciated. If you have any questions about the game, don't hesitate to ask. Let's see, did I miss any enemies here when I was running away earlier? Oh, come on. Okay. Well, I'm almost done with this map. I'm not gonna clear it fully, just the outskirts, whatever more elites I can get to spawn. Okay, I need to stop here because they're just too many behind me. Just gonna clear around here this zone and then go to the portal. Ah, fuck. So many falling rocks. Okay, let's fill my energy up to the brim. or as close as I can get it. Just go to the portal. By the way, is it just me or is my harmonic form broken? I think I got the same bug like I did before, where I cannot get my harmonic form. You see, my light buff bar is at the top. And this only fixes if you rewalk, if you go back to character selection and not. So if you've not seen me activate harmonic form for the past few minutes, that's how, and that's why it's broken. It's a bug that I've only seen happen in offline mode. See, I'm losing light spells, it's not generating light buff bar. It's stuck at the top, but it's not activating. So basically that's crippling. Playing a Dusk Mage without harmonic form is like virtual sex. It's not the real thing. It's pointless. It's pretty much pointless to play a Dusk Mage without harmonic form. There's no point in it. I'm gonna have to rewalk quickly, because I can't play like this. It's not fun at all. Let's see. So yeah, I have to do this. That's the only way I know to fix it. Let's test it. See, now it goes up. Now it goes up and I can get the buff. Just to show you what's supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is I'm supposed to get this buff. But I wasn't, and it's annoying when it gets broken. And I've never gotten this while playing on the server, but I haven't played on the server as a Dusk Mage since the last small patch. Not the major update, but the small patch. And probably that's when it broke. And that's my guess. So between the last time I played, the last build I made on the online server as a Dusk Mage, so Unholy Blaster 2.0, between then and now, somewhere around there, this broke. Let's get chance to poison. Good luck in getting chance to poison when you need it. Probably gonna waste all my gold coins without getting the right. Oh, now I ran out of essences. I forgot that on this account I don't have hundreds of legendary essence. And I'm limited in regards to how many. Okay, let's take some junk items. Four levels to Observer. That's actually a very interesting one, but I need essence. That work. If only I was on my other on the online version of the heroes of the account, and I didn't have to refarm all those resources I spent hundreds of hours farming that I've got on the online mode. Okay, a few more maps.
If it isn't all, what's their name? Sweet, I just finished tightening up the graphics on
Dividing,
that level.
probably.
Honestly, I think you could do better. That doesn't sound so tough.
Gearworky status, I don't want to do another high-vid gearworky. It's just gonna be boring if I go from a high-vid to a high-vid. So let's do the dividing map. It was here, right?
Time to slash, hack, and warp on back.
Let's see. That was close. Okay.
You are overloaded. Cast that spell here.
Come on.
Can't cast that here. You can't use that skill. That spell can't be cast.
And it dropped junk. Maybe let's try and spawn more of them at the same time. Oh, it's so much better when it's not a siege map and I don't have to constantly dodge some falling rocks. I can actually stay inside my consecration field for more than a few seconds, for more than 1-2 seconds.
You can't do that.
I don't think there's gonna be a champ here, but I need to check just to be sure.
Can't use that skill. You can't cast that.
Okay.
You can't cast that here. That spell can't be cast. You are overburdened.
Okay, moving on. Next. Oh, wait.
You can't cast that spell here. You can't use that skill. Your pack is too heavy.
Oh wow. It hit me with its butt. I guess it has a very strong fart that propels him forward. And the fart is the thing that hits you when you're behind the Goblin Hound. There's no other reasonable explanation why the Goblin Hound can hit you when you're standing behind it, when it's charging. Other than it's eating a lot of beans to propel, to fart to propel itself when doing those charges. They must have some sick beans, beans and human stew in the Goblin village. Put human with beans. Very interesting diet of the Goblin Hound. Let's see. No. There we go. The mage should be here, the jailer, or maybe not. He's normally near the cages. I guess they just spread out the cages a bit more this time. There it is.
Spell here.
Let's pick up. Derp says, okay, so I'm level 9 now with my Realm Master and I'm having a problem. There's so much unavoidable damage that I cleanly almost die and I can't find any armor with health regen. Health regen is not good. It's the worst affix in armor. Avoid health regen, get defense. If you need survivability, maybe get shield car. But that's not the best. Are you doing a train build or not? If you're not doing a train build, then I've got bad news. You're better off re-rolling early on into a train build. Non-train Realm Masters are the most underpowered thing you can play in the game right now. Slammer Realm Masters. After they nerfed the Lantern Flash passive, from a weak build it became super weak to play a Slammer build. Before it was okay with that skill. You're playing an Electrode build. That doesn't tell me much. Is it a train based Electrode? Is it a relic based Electrode? Is it a Slammer based Electrode?
Can't catch that here.
Make sure you're not fighting enemies that are much higher than your level and focus on defense. Defense is the best thing you can get, but in general you have to avoid hits. You have to avoid getting hit. In the early levels, especially if you're playing ridiculous, there's no way you can get good rolls of defense and get lucky. So the best way to not die is just to avoid getting hit, and there is way to avoid every single hit in the game. While leveling up, you just have to play with a train, and you have to just keep kiting. It takes a while. It's very bad. It's annoying. It's boring, kiting and relying on the train. But that's one way to do it. Localized Storm can help. Chaotic Strikes can also help with damage. But health regeneration is the worst stat ever in terms of survivability. It just gives too little, like 1,000 per second, or 500-600 per second on a hero that has 60, 70, 80,000 HP. It's just a joke at level 60. Probably with the Fazir challenge bonuses it's not a joke and it's actually okay. But that's with the overpowered Fazir gear. So definitely not something worth it when leveling up. And potions. Potions, you need to use your potions well. Shield car can help though. Shield car can definitely help you. If you have trouble surviving. What's the flat out best character relic to do? Bane train with Realm Master. Bane Realm Master with the train. Flamethrower car, shotgun car. So if you look at my miasmic train, an updated newer version of that one that includes the new items such as Imbue Relic, something like that. I just don't have time to update every single build as quickly as I can, because I need to make new builds, I need to update the old builds, and I can't handle everything because of how grindy the game is and how bad my luck is with RNG. And now on top of that I have to play on the offline server to level up new heroes for new builds, which is even worse. So it's very time consuming for me to make stuff, to make content for this game, because it takes a lot of days of grinding and farming pointlessly, instead of just using my resources to reroll my items, and instead of the game allowing me to make endgame only characters that don't have to do the story, and instead of the game giving me 20 hero slots instead of 13, so I don't have to play offline. Hopefully with this quality of life update that's approaching, we do get some changes to the things I mentioned. But yeah, something similar to the miasmic train build. Bane train, that's right now the strongest. Shotgun car, flamethrower car, focusing on flamethrower car damage in your items, and using Imbue Relic and using Miasma max level, using flamethrower car max level, maybe shotgun car max level. I didn't even see what killed me.
Yeesh. Leader. Okay, buddy. Let's get you cleaned up and ready to fight again.
Well, I have so many builds because they allowed this every now and then to go on the test server, and some of those builds I made on the test server where I didn't have to level up as much. I could jump from level 2 to level 46, and then I just had to do several hours of farming, leveling up to get 60, and then there's the farming involved for the items. In some of the builds I definitely didn't have good gear, all the perfect gear I needed, and far from the perfect affixes, but I still made those builds, so I can just at least give people some example, something as an idea to play with this character, with this relic. Okay, let's take this. Yeah, let's take this. If it had a socket, I would have probably kept it. This toy maker too, and maybe experimented a little bit. I'm gonna do one map, this one. I'm gonna do this thing, the legendary map. Online is better for a few reasons. First, you're playing online, meaning you can play with others. Second, if something happens to your character, if they lose it, they can recover it. If you lose the character on offline, like some save corruption or whatever, there's not much the developers can do. It's locally stored, unless you back up your saves every day, unless you have some sort of software that backs up your saves folder every day, then you won't be able to recover it yourself. And there's some exclusive rewards that they only give every now and then around certain holidays to people. That you can't get on the offline, but on the offline you do get some patch related gifts. where they would give you like a free pet or like a free skin or whatever with a patch, so you still get those on offline. But if they send something over the mail, specifically just to everyone who's online, as an event, you definitely won't be able to get that on the offline mode. Offline mode, on the other hand, has better performance. You don't rely on a server's performance, and the Torchlight 3 servers unfortunately are not amazing. In fact, they're kind of disappointing right now. And the loading times as a result of this disappointing server performance can be huge. Regardless whether the game is on an SSD, when playing online, you can see some serious problems with loading times, with some rubber banding, with some desynchronizing. I mean, I have a problem where sometimes it would take me 5-10 minutes before the game even loads my stash. I would stay in my fort and it would take 10 minutes before it can load all my stash tabs, and it would just show me blank stash tabs as I scroll through them sometimes. This is how bad the servers have become since December. Since the 22nd, 23rd of December. Something happened then. Whatever they did then is causing serious problems. I think it's database related problem, this one actually. Maybe problem with one of the tables that stores player data. Maybe it's not for every player, just the one that stores the data for European players or for some old accounts or whatever. I told them in December, the community manager asked me for my WOC files. I sent her my WOC files. Hopefully that helped them. You actually know what happened. Interesting. I know what happened around then. The game went on sale. and the Xbox One Game Pass actually started then, if I'm not mistaken. And that probably overloaded the tables that store player data or whatever, the databases. They did a version control system transfer and screwed up a bunch of line endings, which is such a beginner mistake. Okay. Interesting. The post-mortem that I've read was a post-mortem about the launch, the early access soft launch. I've read this post-mortem. I haven't heard about the post-mortem about the database things. Let me check. When was this? Because it's still not fixed. When I played a few days ago or whatever. Oh, this developer update probably. But yeah, I've read all the different updates they post, and I don't remember hearing anything about this being broken recently and fixed. I'm not sure if it's a database issue or not, but whatever happened, it's still happening, and it's still server related because it doesn't happen to the offline, only to the online. And it happened around, as I said, the 22nd, 23rd of December. I started experiencing much worse performance. Some delays, some desyncing with my skill using, with my fort buildings loading slower. When I go into the fort, sometimes my buildings would appear one by one, and it would take 10 seconds or so until every single model of every single fort prop loads up. So it's just slow in general. Something made it become slower and slower. As I said, it would be much better to just hire someone, a specialist, for a one-time job to optimize whatever, to just improve their stability, their system, their netcode. Outsource it, hire a specialist for a one-time job if the current engineer just can't handle fixing that by himself. That's fine, I mean,
You can't cast that spell here.
let's see. It's always better if you can do something yourself, hire someone that really knows what they're doing. Even if it's just not as a permanent employee position, just as a single time task. You sure as hell wouldn't want to debug another DB migration. Well, there's a lot of stuff that's boring and annoying with databases, dropping tables and stuff by accident. Let's see. I'm not gonna spend too much in this map, because it's already midnight. Seems like time for dinner and time to feed Sky. Where is Sky, by the way? Sky? Let me check where he is. Is he here? No, he's here. He's sleeping. He's sleeping in a very weird... he's standing like... If that's the surface, he's standing like this because there's like a little bit of a elevated duvet cluster here, and he has his hand like this. One of his hands. The other hand, one of the hands is like this on the duvet. This is the surface. This is the duvet elevation. This is one of his paws, and the other one is tucked in like this. If that's his second paw, pretty like a boss. I wish my camera cable was long enough so I could show it. Because he's sleeping on my duvet. I normally make a mini cave for him. A half cave. I make something that looks like this. Because this is where the light comes. This light comes over here and this makes him shadow so he can stay here. And then this is the duvet. It looks like this. And he's here. And this protects the light so it doesn't shine in his eyes. And he stays there because he likes it. Sometimes he comes here, but he doesn't like the bright lights. I don't like the bright lights, but without them you can barely see me. And I don't feel like wearing sunglasses while streaming because I don't know. I don't think I would like watching at my game with the sunglasses. I would have to increase the brightness, and then that would ruin the quality of the stream unless there is a way to negate that. Maybe I can add a filter to the stream. Not sure how people do it. I'm sure there's a way to do it if Dr. Disrespect does it, streaming with sunglasses, then it's doable to have a good clear image that negates the sunglasses and the filter and lets you lets you still stream the picture without that extra brightness broadcasted to the others. I just haven't researched in that. But I'm considering it. It's very annoying when there's bright lights on your face from both sides. Or I could just get those glasses, the transparent ones, with the blue light filter or whatever. And that maybe would work. Maybe. It's gonna be a gamble, but we'll see. Let's go to the portal and finish this map. Final champion fight. I shouldn't waste too much energy. I want to save some energy for the boss. And by the way, did you see I've got the same book again? Dusk Mage without a harmonic form. It's annoying when my whole build is centered around using and taking advantage of the harmonic form mechanic, and then this bug makes it pretty much non-existent. I'm losing a serious chunk of damage, 175% extra damage. That's a lot of DPS, and then that's 75% mana again. Right now, because I'm not using the pens, it's only 150% damage and only 50% mana again. But that's still a solid chunk of DPS and mana again loss. You can see my light buff just doesn't activate. It's stuck. Derp says he really likes this game. You and me, buddy. I also like this game, even with all the bad things about it, even with all the bugs and the lack of quality of life, and the lack of endgame variety. I really love how many different builds I can make. I love how smooth the combat is. Visually, it's very eye pleasing. Apart from some cases when you're playing in a team. And you just can't see what's happening on the screen, and you lose the location of your cursor, and you can't see where your cursor is. Apart from some of those things, it's still the thing that I've spent hundreds, thousands of hours. I spent more than 2,000 hours playing this game since April 2019. And if I didn't like the game, I wouldn't have spent this much, especially during the alpha times where there were barely any people playing the game. Back then I was streaming and there would be like just that one other person watching, having a chat with me, at best 2-3 more. But I still loved playing and streaming the game. And that's gonna be it for now, Struck Quap. Enough for tonight, more later. Keep it cool until next time, and goodbye. Thanks again for being here.